What's up, YouTube, and happy Friday. Hopefully you all are having a really good week with your picks over on Underdog Fantasy and on Prizepicks. For me personally, it's been pretty hit or miss. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we had massive days. Tuesday we actually won 3 entries, so over $3,000 profit on that day alone. Then Wednesday night, we missed by half a point on Damian Lillard. Very unfortunate. I thought he would get there, but, it's just the way it goes sometimes. And last night, I missed by another point and a half on Andrew Nemhard. So it's just the way it goes sometimes, but we keep moving forward. So my picks here on YouTube actually haven't done too great, but I've been posting a ton of plays over on TikTok and mostly in my Discord server. So be sure to follow me on all my other social media pages and join the Discord server as well. It is linked in the description below. Totally free to join. I don't sell any picks or anything. I just kind of show you basically all of my picks. It's a really good community. Everyone says it's the only community where they're able to kind of post whatever they want without getting banned or yelled at or anything. It's just a total free community. So feel free to join in. It's a really good place to be. So for today, there actually is a ton of value on the board. So a ton of NBA games, but as I was scrolling through Daily Grind Fantasy, there were a lot of things that I was really liking that stood out to me really early. So right now it's about 9:30 in the morning Eastern time, so obviously things change as the day goes on. But as I was scrolling through, there's just some really good plays out there. So first I'll go and show you the play I already made and posted in the Discord and on TikTok as well. So the first entry I made was this Kyle Kuzma, lower than 4.5 assists. Jalen Suggs, higher than 8.5 points. And Trae Young, higher than 25.5 points. Honestly, there was so much value in there, I could have made this a 5-pick, but I'd rather just do a bunch of different 3-picks. The reason for that is my chances of winning a 5-pick are just significantly less than winning a 3-pick for obvious reasons. And when I do a 4 or 5 pick, I generally insure them anyways, just in case I go 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 4. So I like to stick to the 3-pick non-insured entries for the most part. Occasionally, I'll do a 4-pick insured, which you see I did here with some esports, and that's currently live after last night. But more often than not, I will do 3-pick non-insured entries over on Underdog Fantasy. So in this video, we're probably going to go through and make 1 or 2 plays, most likely just 1 play over on Underdog Fantasy. We're going to look through the tools over on Daily Grind. I want to show you a couple of them that I don't normally show. So first, obviously, this DFS Optimizer is the one I use pretty much every day. It compares the lines on Underdog Fantasy to the lines on all the other sports books and pretty much shows you what the best value is on Underdog Fantasy. Some of the other tools that I like, the DFS middling tool. You could do this if you want a middle. So middling means taking both sides of a player's prop and hoping it ends up right in the middle and you win both of them. I don't do it very often, but it is a viable strategy, and obviously there is money to be made with it. Fantasy scores, this is for the people who don't have regular prop picks in their states, and they can only do fantasy scores. Basically, it just compares the player's projected fantasy score from all the sports books to what the fantasy score is on Underdog Fantasy. And then last but not least is the DFS correlation tool, which has been pretty much a money printer lately. So what it does is it shows you the plays that have the most correlation. So this is on Jock MKT. It's a Counter-Strike correlation play. So obviously, if this guy gets over on the kills, this guy could also get over on the kills, and the game just goes to overtime or something. So you're basically banking on a scenario going all your way. All overs on the Super Bowl, you see Purdy touchdowns, Ayuk receiving yards, Samuels receiving yards, Mahomes yards, along with Watson and Scantling. So it's all correlated entries. So pretty much it's more of a long shot, but it's a correlated long shot. So it has a little bit higher probability as compared to a normal pick. So if you're interested in joining Daily Grind Fantasy, I do have a promo code for them for 25% off. The code is LayTheHouseRM. This is a paid subscription website. They do charge a monthly subscription, a quarterly, or an annually. My advice to you, maybe try out the monthly to start and see how it goes. For me, it pretty much paid for itself within the first couple of days. But for a monthly subscription with my discount, you're paying under $2 a day. For an annual subscription with my discount, you're paying less than $1.50 a day. So whatever you want to do, I'm not sure if you can use my promo code twice or not, but it's basically the tool I use every single day. So what I'll do here is I'll go to Underdog Fantasy, and we'll see if we can find a play for tonight for NBA, or just maybe combining some esports or pretty much anything else. So we'll see at the top here, you can see we have this Travis Kelce for the Super Bowl still under a touchdown. Honestly, something like this I'm going to ignore because the only book showing this line is Fliff, and comparing a 1-to-1 is just a losing game. Because you don't know which book is the one that's undervaluing, and you don't know which one is that is overvaluing. So this is a problem you run into a lot with esports. So look at Counter-Strike, League of Legends especially. So we'll go League of Legends. you see like only 2 other books have League of Legends lines, so it's very tough to find which one is wrong. You see like Underdog and Prizebooks have this guy at 2.5, but then Hot Streak has it at 2.5 to minus 230. But generally, Hot Streak is going to be much more juiced than Prizepicks and Underdog just from the structure. So it's very difficult to find value on League of Legends, but occasionally it is there. Like if there's a pretty big discrepancy between Prizepicks and Underdog, say like this is 2.5 and this is maybe like 4, then you know there's a big difference between the two sites. But for the most part, they've gotten pretty good at pretty much lining up their plays for League of Legends. For this purpose of the video, we won't filter anything. Maybe I'll filter out the NFL because I don't want to make a pick on this video for the Super Bowl just yet. Although I will probably post some later today or even over the weekend this weekend just to get a head start on the props. Because as we get closer to the big game, the lines are going to start moving based on the money coming in and the liability that these books are going to have to take on each side. So let's take a look at the props here. So Trae Young over 25.5 points. This is the top prop of the day at the moment. I already have him on my other entry at 25.5 points, so I'm not going to place another entry with it. But if you want to, honestly, that's probably the best play right now, this point in the day. It will move up at some point today. It will move up to 26, maybe 26.5 on Underdog Fantasy. 26.5, I probably wouldn't go there. 25, I might. 26 I might, but 25.5 is really the sweet spot in this one. So if you missed out on it from this video, it happens. As the day goes on, the lines move very fast, but there's obviously a ton of other plays, and as you start scrolling lower, these are the ones that are pretty much a little bit slower to move, simply because they're not as juiced yet, but they're on their way there. So the next prop that I'm probably going to look towards here is this Devontae Murray under 3-pointers made. Honestly, it would have been a pretty good correlation to go with Trae Young. So if you're going with Trae Young's over on the points, that's taking away shots from Murray. So a nice correlation here would be Trae Young's over on the points and Murray's under on the 3-pointers made. This is a pretty strong prop. Minus 135, minus 156, 35, 35, 43, 35. Pretty strong. We'll add it to the watch list here. Maybe I'll add it to the card. I'll just add it here as like a preliminary. And then maybe we'll go back to it and either leave it on there or remove it. The 3-pointers made, lower 2.5. This one will take a little bit longer to move, and if it does move, I think they would just pull the line as a whole. Keep scrolling down here. We got some first quarter props, but these are 1-to-1s, so I probably won't go there with them. Next, we got Jeremy Grant under on the rebounds and assists, 6.5. This will probably move to 6 at some point today. Not sure when, because the sportsbooks haven't done it yet. Usually the sportsbooks do it first and then Underdog follows. For example, like the Kevin Durant rebounds and assists under, you see this one's at 11.5 already. These other 4 are probably going to follow at some point. Unless the 11.5 gets steamed really high to the over. But honestly, most likely scenario, this goes down to 11.5 as the day goes on today. Just scrolling down a little bit more, Jalen Johnson, 11.5. You see we got a 10.5 out there, more 11.5s. Steph Curry, 9.5. That one's pretty strong, actually. The over 9.5 rebounds and assists. If I'm making this play, I might want to maybe combine it with someone on the Warriors getting points. Just because when he's getting assists, someone else on the team should be getting points, and it's more of a correlated entry. Miles Bridges under 8.5 rebounds. I think we cashed on this a couple days ago. Let me look up the line here on Underdog. So it's still 8.5 rebounds. I actually like that number. 8.5 is pretty strong for him. Obviously, 15, 10, and 9 the last 3 games. But, you can't really look at the past performance. This is a prime example of a player doing really well. Everyone's like, oh, he got 9, 10, and 15. Why the hell is his number at 8.5? I'm definitely going to go over. No, you should go under on this play simply because all the other sportsbooks are juicing it to the under, whereas Underdog Fantasy, the lines are minus 122 odds. So you're potentially getting 33% value on this play when you're comparing it to, I think this is FanDuel at the top, or Pinnacle. So, honestly, it's a risky play when you look at the recent history, and you're going to get a ton of kickback when you make a play like this. But when it hits, you're going to look like a genius. And that's kind of what you want to do here. You want to be ahead of the field. You don't want to be a sheep. You don't want to be doing what everyone else is doing. You want to do your own thing, and you want to be right. That's really the main thing. So I think on this entry, we're going to go with a 4-pick insured entry, simply because I made these 2 plays here already. I really like the Trae Young over on the points to compare with this Murray, so if you are doing that, definitely go with that pick. We'll We'll scroll back up here because I liked the over on this Curry's rebounds and assists. I'm just wondering if there's another player out there that I can combine him with on the Warriors, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Honestly, you can go the over on Trae Young's three-pointers made and go with the correlation on that because, like I said before, if Murray's not shooting, Trae Young might be shooting, and you can go with that. But I'm not sure I want to double down on Trae Young tonight, even though the numbers are in its favor. We could go with the Zion over 20.5 points. It will move to 21.5 at some point today over on Underdog, and I'd like to get ahead of that move. Same thing with this Aldama over 6.5 rebounds. That will definitely move to 7, maybe 7.5 at some point today. So I'm going to add the Aldama first. Nope, see, it's already at 7. So we already missed the move on Santi Aldama. That's just what happens here as we're going through these. What we have to do is we'll have to refresh the optimizer tool. It might not be updated yet because they probably just made that change. And then we'll keep looking here. So we'll see. We got some more props here. We got the Thompson blocks there now. We have Beals, blocks, and steals. As the day goes on, they start adding more props, and the lines change as well. So let's keep scrolling down here, find some more plays for us. The Zion over on the points should still be there. So we'll go Zion over on the 20.5 points. And then maybe we could find one more play here. So that Aldama's gone. We know that already. Tyus Jones over on assists. He's been racking up the assists lately. Last couple games, he had 7, 9, and 9. 7.5 is the line. He actually was short on a few minutes last game against the Clippers. I believe that might have been a blowout. So we're going to go with the higher on the 7.5 here. Put 250 on it. It will be an insured entry. So even if we go 3 to 4, we'll do pretty well. It'll be $375, which is $125 profit. 4 for 4 is obviously what we're going for. $1,250 profit on this. So I'm just going to lock that in. Murray, lower than 2.5 3-pointers. Bridges, lower than 8.5 rebounds. Zion, higher than 20.5 points. And Tyus Jones, higher than 7.5 assists. I will share this pick so I can put the link in the Discord server. If you're not in the Discord server yet, this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to copy and paste the link here. You go into NBA, copy and paste the link there. You see I posted a play earlier today. Some of the guys here are already tailing us, so it's a really good sign. Hopefully we have a really big day. Let me edit this and just make sure it says that we are insured. And I will do this on my ARMS picks page as well. Insured. All right. So that's our play for Underdog Fantasy. Just to recap here, look at my live plays. These are my plays that I'm going with right now. I will definitely have probably at least maybe 2 to 4 more plays today. There's a lot of value out there. And remember, it's also Flex Friday on Prizepicks as well. So you get a free play over on Friday. It doesn't hit until noon Eastern time. So once that comes through, I'll post my play for Flex Friday. It's a free play, basically. Sometimes it's $20. Sometimes it's up to $50. Kind of depends what they want to do. But pretty much we go for the home run every single time on those plays over on Prizepicks. I'll be going $20 to try to win $500 on a 6-picks flex play. But for Underdog Fantasy, our 3 picks are Kyle Kuzma, lower than 4.5 assists. Jalen Suggs, higher than 8.5 points. And Trae Young, higher than 25.5 points. I already posted that one. Picks we just made here, Tyus Jones, higher than 7.5 assists. Miles Bridges, lower than 8.5 rebounds. Devontae Murray, lower than 2.5 3-pointers. And Zion Williamson, higher than 20.5 points. Remember to join the Discord server, linked in the bio below or in the description below. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Be sure to follow all my social medias. And sign up for Underdog Fantasy if you don't have an account with them yet. Best of luck on your picks today, and thanks for watching.